back on radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Money Mondays. Hang out with me, Kangaden Joroge. Hoping you're having a great time. You've gotten your iced tea, you're breathing, and enjoying the show. Here is one of the quotes for this week. It was on Point Blank by Arthur Marara, and it says, "Transactions are not made in the boardroom, they are only formalized there. People are not hired in the interview rooms, they are hired somewhere else. Decisions are not made by people in suits, they are only formalized by them. People are not fired in disciplinary hearings, they are fired on the golf course, and the decision is formalized in a disciplinary hearing. Contracts are not awarded over coffee and braids. You see, these things we're not necessarily taught in school, yet these things will affect you in your business deliberately. Let us have this conversation on building our social capital. How are you building your social capital? Today I am building my social capital. Hang out with one and only Stephen Olmer, SOP Photography CEO. Thank you so much for coming into this. Super, definitely great photographer. You can check out. What's your website?
StephenOlmer.com.
StephenOlmer.com. I realized there's a time you were doing like a show on short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had such beautiful women on your show.
I know, right?
I love short hair.
I love women with short hair too.
Yes. And women should know this. Yeah.
It was a really interesting perspective of a story I wanted to take.
Yeah.
And I loved how it turned. I think people should just go to the website and check it out. Or just use the hashtag women with short hair.
Yes, women with short hair.
Yeah, but I'm gonna share with you stories about women with short hair later.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you.
What motivated you to start Women with Short Hair?
I think I love human interest stories, and I started out as a human interest photographer. And when you grow up, you realize there's so much ahead, or there's so much that sometimes disrupt. There's so much that sometimes disrupt your ability to tell stories the way you want to.
Yeah.
So the women with short hair started out in a very interesting way because I had dreadlocks, baby locks. So then I due to the nature of business,
yes,
I couldn't continue with them. But somehow I got attached to them. I loved my hair. I loved myself with those baby locks. So then it happened that I had to shave them, and then I got attached with them. So after a while, I started thinking about women and how women love their hair.
Yeah.
And I'll imagine what is this story of women who decide to just have their hair short.
Yes.
As a man, I was already feeling like I was fighting something that was beyond me without my hair. But what about women who in most cases
adore their hair.
Adore their hair. So that's where the
amount of money we've sent to women because of hair, you know. Yeah. And so I saw it very, very interesting, and I'd like you to go and watch it on StephenOlmer.com and get to understand why short hair is beautiful. And thank you so much for tuning in. Let us start from the beginning. Did you grow up thinking that you're going to be a photographer?
No, I never thought to be a photographer. I never thought I'd be a photographer in my life. It was not something. I actually wanted to be a business consultant. I loved business
when you were young.
No, when I was in high school, that's when I was trying to discover the career I want to go.
Yeah.
And I loved business consultancy.
Yeah.
So I grew up when I was in high school. I wanted to be a business consultant actually. So when I left high school, this is now where my story of photography begins. So in 2012, I lost my mom.
Oh,
and unfortunately, it was a very unfortunate moment of my life. But then, at that time, I really loved my mom so much. So then I was looking for stories that can keep keep me attached to her still even after she's gone. Then I realized there's a friend of mine who had a camera, a small digital camera. It's called Mango. Big up Mango. So Mango. You see, when you're grieving, people send you contributions to facilitate the funeral process.
Yes.
So
yes.
I actually saved some cash from the grieving moment,
Yeah.
and then I used that money to buy my first camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Without any prior knowledge about how to.
No, I was actually taking pictures of people, guests coming to visit us.
Yeah.
And sending their condolences.
Mm-hmm.
And with the digital, it was just point and shoot, of course.
Yeah.
It was already automatic, and
Yeah.
then you just take a picture and shoot.
Yes.
And then I think I bought my first camera with around 10,000 shillings.
Yeah.
So then, just to cut the long story short, we went and buried mom.
Yeah.
Then when we came back, I met a lady called Susie Jinan. She's Dutch. She studied photography in Holland, and she did up to masters.
Yeah.
Like you see, she studied photography up to masters.
Yes.
And she had a program called Ghetto Exposed. So we guys are from the Eastlands actually. So us guys were given an opportunity by Susie and GE to actually learn photography. So then I did photography. Actually studied photography for 2.5 years. Like the way you can go and do a diploma.
Yes.
So actually, our diploma in photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, since I did journalism, photography was just
it was a part of the package.
it was a subject, you know. It was one off. Yeah?
I know, but you see, the thing is, I think in Europe, because what I learned with the system in Europe, photography is viewed as a serious career. It's a profession.
Yeah.
So if you look at that and in the system here, here you are being taught. You can be taught broadcast, you can be taught print, all other thing of journalism in one aspect.
Yeah.
But in Europe, they actually specialize. That's why you see someone calls himself a professional photographer, professional videographer, a professional writer, because they have actually
studied it,
yeah.
like as a single course, not just as like a unit, like
no.
in my school.
Yeah.
So that's how you started.
That's how I started. I'm trying to cut my long story short because of the time. But the interesting thing is that when I was finishing school in 2014, I already won I was so good that I won a photography award and went to Mozambique to cover IMF International Monetary Fund function.
We are sorry.
Big shot, my friend.
We are sorry.
I loved my experience there. But when I came back, I started now doing street photography because I just love street stories. Because I think for me, and this is how my genesis also with human interest started. Because I started street stories, and street stories could connect me with what the media was not connecting.
Yes.
You know, so for me, that was the real connection. But then I also moved to documentary photography, and now I'm into documentary photography. I'm also doing more of corporate.
So mostly your bread and butter is in documentaries and corporate photography.
Well said, my friend.
How is it?
I think it's awesome. I can never be regret being a photographer.
Is there money in photography?
Come on, of course there is. There is. I mean, listen, sometimes back a friend did an interview for me.
Yes.
And I was talking about how photography pays. You know, I think the only crazy thing that you can never stop doing to yourself is being passionate.
I love that. Just repeat that again.
The only crazy thing you can never stop being about yourself is being passionate.
Yeah.
Because I remember my journey with photography started way back when I didn't have. You see the way people tell you look at people and you don't see future in them.
Yeah.
That's how my future was. My journey started. I didn't have a future, but I was passionate. In fact, I keep telling this, and I keep saying this in every interview I go to, that I think there's one thing that God will judge me with is how passionate I was with the art He gave me.
Over the years, tell me, what are some of the things that have hindered you from progressing?
Progressing in terms of photography or life?
Yes, photography in your business.
In my business, I think there have been government policies that have not been actually aligned with actually photography work, and in one way or another, they have not supported the development or the scaling up of photography as a storytelling element, and I think that's a very key thing for me.
Yeah. So you feel like the government is not supporting photographers and videographers. It's always levies upon levies.
I think we are the most
Taxed.
creatives in this country.
Uh-huh.
Probably we are not companies, we are not corporations,
Yeah.
or we are not parastatals that
Yeah.
can give government billions, but we are startups.
Yeah.
And I think every economy needs a startup. And in Kenya, there's actually been an increasing number of startups.
Yes.
But you can understand how tech people are being taxed as compared to our photographers, not just photographers, because this is a very huge topic. It's not just let's just use content creators.
Yeah.
Because we are being taxed on things that sometimes you look at and you're like, why? Yeah. I give you a case study, a simple example.
Yes.
Do you know that as a photographer, Kenyan photographer, if you are going to shoot in KICC, that's a parastatal, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot in KICC, you're going to pay 7,000 just taking pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
7,000.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do filming,
Yeah.
just videography, you're going to pay 20,000.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what that does to young people who want to scale up their careers.
It's hard.
How do you pay 20,000 and
Yeah.
probably client has paid you 10,000? You know,
Yeah.
how do you do that? Why? And I really hope Nana Gishaga is going to listen to this today, because why is it that local photographers are not given leverage on the pricing?
Yeah.
Or they're not even invited in a conversation and being asked, hey,
Is this fair?
is this fair? We are trying to market Nairobi.
Yeah.
And we love your photographs. It's actually photographs that sell a country.
Yeah.
A country, you know.
Yeah.
I've known New York. I've not ever been to New York, but I know New York from the
You
pictures.
know the streets.
You know,
yeah?
I know the street of Manhattan from the pictures I see. You understand?
Yeah.
So why is KICC a simple case study? And
Yeah.
apologies if this
Yeah.
is gonna hit them wrong.
Yeah.
But why is KICC gonna charge local photographers 7,000 or even 20,000 to do videography, and yet it's like marketing
The country.
the country,
And
you
even
know,
KICC itself.
KICC itself. So why is it that there's no deliberate actions to invite local photographers or even storytellers to say, hey, we know you guys are growing your career.
Yeah.
We want to support you.
Yeah.
How do we go forward
Yeah.
on this?
Yeah.
And it's not just KICC. Even I saw, and I'm gonna delve into this probably. That I saw the governor of Nairobi.
Yes, and that was my other question, because I saw that he waived the photography in Nairobi, but in the CBD. Is it true? Now you don't have to pay to have a license to operate or to take photos in Nairobi.
I don't know if it's true.
CBD.
I don't know if it's true or not. The reason is because this is not the first time
Yes.
the sitting governor of
Yeah.
Nairobi County has said that. Sonko said it. For him, he actually went on Twitter and
said
posted.
it.
Larry Asego went and said, hey, governor, we are being harassed as photographers
Yeah.
and we're trying to tell stories of this city. What can you do about it? Sonko replied on that tweet and said, as a sitting governor, photographers will be allowed to shoot for free. The question was that implemented? What was the implementation plan after that
statement
declaration was made?
Yes.
So the sitting governor comes back and makes a roadside declaration,
Yeah.
complete the same of what Sonko said, and there's no simple implementation plan. There's no simple implementation plan on how to go about it. What are the structures? What was what's the fee that was waived? You know,
Yeah.
to what extent? Is it 50%?
Yeah.
And I'm going to also go ahead and talk about the fact that the governor waived the fee for freelance photographers. Remember, photography is not just for freelancers.
Yeah.
You know, there's there's companies or there's businesses that actually running photography as a business.
Yes.
And what are the measures that the government has put in place to ensure that is done? Because for me, I felt it was just doing that to pull a PR stunt. You know,
Yeah.
that was a PR stunt. Because I also feel that in one way or another, if the governor really wanted to change the image of storytelling
Yeah.
in the county,
Okay.
I also think he should have invited
Yeah.
stakeholders.
Yes.
Like there's Photojournalist Association of Kenya.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
there's PAC, professional photographers of Kenya. You know,
Yeah.
there's so much bodies that actually deal with storytelling. And I think for me, if you wanted a huge impact, because you know, funny enough, is the government, Sakaja is a creative.
Yeah,
you know,
but let me read the last or the memo that was released on September 23rd. So the Nairobi County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning, his name is Lawrence Ombu, in a memo to his trade and industrialization counterpart, directed that photographers and filmmakers be granted a waiver. So according to the memo reads, in exercise of the power given under the PFM Act 2012, Section 159, and the Nairobi City Council Tax Waivers Administration Act 2013, Section 5, approval is hereby given that freelance photographers and freelance makers are given waiver exemption of payment of single business permit as charged under the Nairobi City County Trade Licensing Act of 2019. Okay. So does that mean that it's official?
I still don't know if it's official. Because the thing is, that's what have you said it is?
It's a
statement.
memo. Yes,
it's a memo.
Yeah.
Is that within the bylaws?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be arrested today, can I present that in the court of law?
Yes.
You know, and say this. You know, and another thing, we as photographers, we've been treated as probably terrorists, and you know the level of harassment that we have gone through in this country, in this, actually not county, this country.
Yeah.
I know friends who have actually been arrested by ATPU and have been taken because they're just taking pictures in the streets of Nairobi.
Yeah.
So what that memo does not define is who are the freelance photographers. You know, do they have certification to show that these guys are freelance photographers?
Yeah.
You know, is it? And this is what I was saying is not clear because they are professionals who actually are registered by the Media Council of Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, those people, they are within the accreditation limits. So if I'm not freelancing, I'm actually practicing professionally. Then what does that then mean? So this is a big debate. And that's what I was saying. The governor should have done better.
Yes.
He should have done better because he himself is a creative.
Yes.
He sings, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
He knows what it needs to be done. So this roadside roadside declaration should not be of Sakaja.
Okay.
And I'm not personal. I'm just saying it as it is. Because it needs to be said.
Yeah, it needs to be said. It needs to be said. And of course that will definitely, if he says it well, it definitely will improve the sector. What are other things you think we need to do to improve the photography and videography sector?
I think first of all, before I forget, I need to laud the governor. While I'm also here criticizing him, I need to laud him. He made a bold move.
Yeah.
It's not easy for people in leadership to consider young people and say we will want to go this direction. That was a bold move.
Yeah.
And if Sakaja wants to continue, the next step is to involve stakeholders that are actually being. There's so many filmmakers in Nairobi. We've lost so many opportunities as young people when there's no laws that actually protect us as creatives here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go back to your question now, and you're asking me what are some of the things that I think should be done to develop photography or content creation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So my answer is very simple. We need to formulate policies that protect photographers, not just photographers, storytellers.
Yeah.
Not just storytellers alone, even people who are starting small-scale businesses.
Yes.
I have a very long, different case studies that I can share with you that we know of freelance photographers who come from other parts of the country or other parts of the world. They settle in here. You understand? Once they settle in here, you have a gig that is paying you, let's say, 20,000. Someone steps in from another country. It's freelance, quote unquote, and this is why freelance should be defined by what the law should define freelance. He steps in or she steps in here. She gets the job that you're supposed to getting. So there's no policy that are protecting local photographers from exploitation. Because I tell you what, if you go to Europe, if you go to America, getting a work permit, just getting a work permit for you to practice as a photographer or a content creator, and you start earning money in your account, that you have a bank account, it's a hell. You know, it's L. Sorry, I'm gonna use some words that are not interesting here, but it's L.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that should be the first thing that I think should be done.
Let's
protect local content creators.
Protect local content.
Yeah, let's
creators.
protect them from people. Well, we also travel. We are not saying that coming here and doing the same job as us is a bad thing. We also travel. I've actually traveled a lot out of the country for assignments.
Yes.
But I will not stay in a country for 5 years or in another country for 10 years or even
Doing
7
the same
years
job, yeah.
doing the same job without being accredited,
Yeah.
without we need those policies.
Are we
that
too
clear.
lenient as a country? We just allow everybody to come as well.
I think we are not too lenient. We are friendly, and that's very fine. What we need is to formulate policy to protect us.
Yeah.
That's very first thing. I think the next thing I want to share is we should have organization like PAC, for example. PAC should be in a position to bargain better for local photographers.
Yeah.
We have been in situations where PAC is not actually actively involved in bargaining better for photography
Yeah.
spaces, and that has been a very big key for me, So I think it's another high thing that we have so many bodies registered that can actually help steer this conversation forward, because it's not a starting conversation. Photography has been in this country for a while, and we know when you're asking about if photography pays, Mutua Madeka was paid by photography very well.
Yes.
We know Alan Gishigi. We know awesome Kenyan photographers who have done amazing things, and actually even including me, photography pays me.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll definitely get into the money of photography, and of course, if you want to enter into the business, what are the things you need to be checking out? The hashtag is Money Mondays. This is Icon Radio. Hang out with me, Kanga Njoge. Let's go back to the music. When we get back, it's gonna be more fire. And thank you so much for being here. Tell us, which is one of the biggest jobs you remember that you did, you've never forgotten?
Oh goodness, I have so many big jobs I've done. I'm gonna be humble. It's when I would say do what, be humble, something. When I say it's when I get to
Sit down.
Be humble. Be humble. I think my latest, because I think in photography you also told that you are good as your last job.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's like being a journalist. You're good as your last story.
Yeah. It's the same with us. Yeah. I think we are in the same media facet.
Yes.
But I think my big job that I did was during the elections. I was the photographer for the European Election Observation Mission, EU in Kenya.
Yes, EU observers.
Yeah, EU observers, and I was the one creating content for them.
Yeah.
For the period that they were here.
Yeah.
And it was such an amazing experience of my life.
That must have
been such
great.
An honor.
That must have been great.
It was such an honor.
Cash in the bank. How much how much can you make as a
I've got money in the bank. It's going down. I think first of all, there's you cannot equate money to your art. You can only charge for your art. You understand?
Wow.
So the thing is, you can only, because no one can listen. No one can pay 100% for your creativity.
Yeah. And your knowledge and your skill.
Yeah, So there's some things that I think I cannot even equate my art with the money, my photography skill. Or I can only charge you based on what you want me to do for you.
Yes.
So I cannot. That question, allow me not to answer it directly. I think I've answered it. Yeah.
What would you tell someone who is excited about joining and being a photographer? What would be your advice to them?
I think for me, my advice is very simple. Just be passionate. I'll repeat this and I'll say this till I die. I think passion takes you places that nothing else can take you. Because even the CEOs, the directors, they're not looking for someone who went to school. Of course, they know their skill capacity is okay, but they're looking how much are you interested in learning and making things work. So that's first thing. And for those photographers, because there's also photographers listening to this story, I think there's a difference between getting the job and getting the job done.
Yeah.
Go find out about that. There's difference between getting the job and getting the job done.
Yeah.
If you're a photographer who actually now starting out, I think for me my key advice is passion, and lastly, own your story.
Own your story.
Yeah, own your story. You have to own your story. You have to own the fact that you're starting out for probably nothing, or probably starting out with a camera that is not worth the value in the market, or it's not an expensive camera, or it's not a professional camera. Own the story that you're starting out somewhere. Move with that story and build in that, and probably later on for another invite, courtesy of you, we'll talk about that. Then how do you also brand yourself as a photographer, so that then you're not just
like everyone else.
You need to if someone says Steve Ouma, then what pops on your mind? If you go to my website now and you see Steve Ouma, you'll actually attach those pictures to me. You can never find those pictures
anywhere else,
to somewhere else. And I think lastly for me, I think what I'll advise photographers is photography is not a celebrity thing. You cannot be a celebrity. I don't know, but there's some celebrity photographers I don't know.
Yeah, there are.
But I think that's not sustainable. It is not sustainable enough. So you cannot be more into celebrity. You can be a business photographer. Celebrity is like a mirage. It fades with time.
All right, so what's next for you as an entrepreneur?
I'm actually setting up my company now. Soon I'm gonna do some call to action. I actually want to influence photography market, and I also want to shape African stories. I've started something called Africa Photo Chat, where we're having conversation about African photography, and we're trying to shape how the world perceive Africa, as storytellers. So then we want to own up that story, that we're Africans and we own up our story. That's one. I'm also running my company now. I'm actually having employees that we work with closely. I really appreciate them. Shout out to them. And you see now I'm moving more from Stevie Nouma to SOP photography. Something that is bigger than me. Something something that even if I'm not there, it can still go ahead and
it
run.
can sustain itself.
And that's what we're telling young people. It's okay to start out as an independent person or as a brand, but then build yourself so that when other people are stepping in, because in 10 years time, trust me, there'll be more Stevie Noumas who started out who will be better than me. I'll probably be doing something else, but still in the line. So then you need to create space for that. So what I'm trying to do is create space for young people who are stepping in and allow them also to grow. So that's the essence actually of SOP photography. We're just trying to shape African conversation, shape up stories, and own them.
Great. Where can we find you?
StevieNouma.com.
StevieNouma.com. Your Instagram?
Our Instagram is Stevie Nouma.
Stevie Nouma.
Yeah,
Twitter?
Stevie with a PH. On Facebook, Stevie Nouma still. I'm uniform everywhere.
LinkedIn?
Stevie Nouma.
So everywhere is Stevie Nouma.
I've learned that you need to be uniform everywhere, so that you don't see me in Instagram at Steve William Kale. Then I'm on Facebook as Steve William Mbaya. Now I'm just Stevie Nouma all over, and that's me.
All right, thank you so much for being with us today, and that wraps up our interview. Thank you so much.